What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Tactical Dads podcast here for episode 3. I'm Whiskey here joined with Rocky. And so I'm going to start off the podcast by getting into something that happened the other night that was, I thought, pretty funny. And I think that you were the one that made it funny. All right.
Let's hear it.
So, all right, I'm gonna describe the scene for y'all listeners out there.
Yeah, let's do it.
It was a cold evening. No, okay. It was so our surrounding agency, they were in a vehicle pursuit with a vehicle, and they're heading into our jurisdiction. So they kind of give us like a heads up, like, hey, we're kind of your jurisdiction. Can you guys set up with stop sticks? So if you don't know what stop sticks are, they are a device that we utilize as law enforcement that we throw out into the road, and it kind of pops the tires of the suspect vehicles. Yep. So they asked us to set up at an intersection down the road and, set up stop sticks, and we'll spike the car. I guess as the car is coming towards us, he sees that because we had to shut down the intersection. So they had to utilize their, overhead lights to stop traffic so that nobody gets hit, protect the public, because he was already running stop signs and stoplights. I can't fucking speak today. But I guess, as he's approaching, he sees our lights. He's like, yeah, fuck that. I'm going to go the opposite direction. So he starts going the opposite way and pulls into a Walmart in our jurisdiction. And then for some reason at that point in time, the county that was chasing them stopped.
You just seized the whole thing.
I was like, well, and in my opinion, I was like, why wouldn't we just, block off the entrances and, conceal them?
I mean, that's the easy part.
Yeah. Once you're in, a Walmart parking lot, once you're in a parking lot in general, like, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, I think mainly the biggest thing was they knew that he was going to drive like an asshole in the parking lot, and all the people that were there, like, there's kids walking in there and shit like that. So they're kind of like, all right, well, if he's going to drive balls to the wall and, not give a damn, that parking lot is kind of our main concern and preserving those lives.
So regardless,
yeah,
they call off the pursuit. And about 15 or so minutes later, we get dispatched to a crash with injuries in our jurisdiction. And, as we arrive on scene, lo and behold, we were like, hey, this is the same tag. This is the same vehicle description of the car that our surrounding agency was chasing. So, we go see the driver, and he is knocked out in the front seat.
He's out cold.
And, by the way, he didn't hit another car. No. He hit another tree.
What a
all right?
dirt.
He hit a tree.
Yeah.
All right. The biggest spike strip of all, a tree. That's what he hit. So, we look at him. He's in the driver's seat, just out.
But don't forget to paint this picture too. Like, so he had all this paraphernalia. Like,
oh yes,
it was still in his lap.
Yes,
it was still in his lap, because if you don't know, like, drug addicts will take their water bottle caps and they'll use that to load their needle up and hold the water and their substance of choice in there, and then they'll load their needle with it. So I mean, but he still had all that, along with the cotton swab still in there. Like, everything was still wet, and his needles were obviously thrown from the impact. But dude, he still had that shit on him. Like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot.
So we can't get him out the driver's side of the car because it's broken. You can't open up the door. Fire department gets there. They're trying to work on him while he's in the driver's seat, and we eventually get the driver's seat leaned back.
The fire guy, he was like, I think a sudden movement of the seat will wake him up.
Yeah.
Like, so this guy, we got one officer in the back seat, like, holding him so that he doesn't fly forward, and the officer that's holding him pulls the seat back.
That was me.
Okay, so that was you.
Yeah.
Pulls the seat back, and it's just like, that never worked.
Yeah.
That never worked, because all it did was just put him in a better sleeping position. It's just like, night, motherfucker.
Right. So, FD's, doing the sternum rubs on them to get like that stimulus to try and get them to come to. Eventually starts coming to a little bit and starts tensing up and starting to resist a little bit. We have like, fire department gets out of there, and we start like surrounding the car. I don't know how it was like a clown car with how many officers we had in that car. He was all over the place.
What is this?
Eventually, since we had the seat lowered back, we pull him out the back driver's side, passenger seat. We pull him out, and then he starts tensing up a little bit. He's like, oh, this is a dream. This is a dream. I need to wake up. This is a dream. And fucking Rocky over here just goes, this isn't a dream. This is a nightmare.
It's a fucking nightmare, dude. It's like you see all these cop cars, you see all the lights, and then you see all the guys in police uniform that are obviously, they say, police.
Yep.
And they have all this insignia on. What do you? He's asking, what is this? What is this? What the fuck do you think this is?
Yeah, you know you did.
You're a freaking retard.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure we both have the same consensus of what happened. I'm fairly certain he OD'd in the driver's seat.
Oh,
and
yeah,
just happened to crash. I mean,
for sure. There's no doubt.
But you know what? No public was injured.
Uh-huh.
That guy got
no property was injured. I
Yeah,
mean, that tree fucked him up.
Yeah, the tree is fine.
Yeah.
It's still standing strong. So, I mean, hey, and then we got him.
And then at the end of the day, they found out why he was fleeing from them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because he had the dope in the car, but it was because he had a warrant. He was wanted. So,
yeah.
I mean,
so have you ever gotten to use your spike strips?
No, man. No.
I think it's every cop stream is to be able to spike somebody. So...
Dude, so...
All right, you go first.
Yeah, one of our guys that just spiked someone during the burglary that they caught in progress.
Yeah.
Dude, he got a freaking nice little pin to put on
They
his
gave him a
uniform.
pin too?
Dude, it's a damn pin. And I was like...
Oh, man.
I want one.
I want one of those. So, all right. With spike strips, for those who don't know, I kind of gave a brief explanation of what it is. There's a string that you have to pull after you spike it. So, at the previous agency I worked for, there was a guy that spiked a car, and it's known that, hey, don't touch the rope.
Shit will take your finger off.
So he spiked the car. I believe it was a successful spike. Yes, it was a successful spike, and as he's pulling back the spikes, where you're supposed to hold onto the handle, he grabbed onto the string. Another car ran it over, and dude, he skinned his finger. He unfolded all the skin on his finger out.
Oh, dude.
It was, so he was showing me pictures of, when I saw him, he was, healed up, and his finger still looked fucked up, obviously. I mean, you're not going to recover from that. But he showed me pictures of like the actual wound, and that thing was fucking gnarly.
That's terrible.
So although it's fun to do and do that kind of thing, there's a little bit of danger too. I mean, you got like a couple 1,000-pound missile heading right towards you, and yeah.
Well, I've had a couple like times where I've got my stop sticks out, like
Yeah.
that night where they were pursuing that vehicle. I was a couple streets east, and I told them, I said, hey, I'm gonna have mine out here too, just in case you guys miss. And boy, I was hoping they were missing
Yep.
too. And I hope they kept going, so I was gonna be able to spike them. But I've had opportunities like that, but never really had the actual deployment or opportunity to. But damn it, I would love it, dude.
Yeah.
I want to. But
Yeah.
I'd feel sorry for the person's vehicle, because like at the end of the day, one thing leads to another. So you pop those tires, and if they have the balls to continue to drive, or at least try, and then it starts going onto the rim and you start sliding, and then one thing leads to another, they can crash, or they can, someone else can crash into them because they can't control the vehicle, whatever have you. But like, I just want to, dude.
Yeah.
I want to.
I mean, in general right now, I think at most agencies to pursue in general, there's a strict criteria that you have to meet because of
there's some that don't even do it. There's some that don't even do it.
Yeah, there are some, but it's rare and far between in based on what I've seen, that there are like...
Yeah.
Most of the time it's like a forcible felony, and forcible felonies are going to be like your aggravated batteries, your aggravated assaults, like anything... Aggravated mainly is what's going to be your forcible felony.
Anything where somebody else's life or property is in extreme danger, imminent danger. So, but yeah. So the one dude that I went to canine school with, he's no longer in law enforcement. He got a way better job, but nonetheless, he was in canine school before.
In canine school without being a.
Well, he was. He worked for Alpharetta, Georgia.
Okay.
But he was in the process of getting another job.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, like, he didn't give his agency a heads up, like, because he didn't want them to be like, okay, well, fuck you. You're trying to get another job. You don't deserve this handler position, so you can screw off. So, but he was telling us, like, over there in Alpharetta, like, they take advantage of it. They take advantage. Like, people will fucking flee on you for nothing. He had people tell him, like, he caught someone shoplifting in the act, and they were like, continue to do it in front of them. They continue to shove shit in their pockets and in their pants and in their bags, and he's like, I'm watching you. Why are you doing this? Like, stop. I'm a cop, and I'm, like, are you gonna really steal in front of a cop? Yeah. And they're like, well, the past, you guys have never done anything to us. You've never arrested us for this. Really? So, and you've never even stopped us. So that's why we continuously come in here and do this.
So they told him this while
They're actively stealing. They're like, you guys don't do shit for this anyways. So we're gonna. Yeah.
I am mind boggled right
Fucking
now.
nuts, right?
What?
So, but to speak on the pursuit thing,
yeah,
he was saying like over there, like you can't do shit if somebody flees on you, no matter if they have like a warrant for murder or anything. Like their policy is so far like left,
yeah,
and so far, gone that like. All they do is they wave at the vehicle and say thank you for visiting Alpharetta.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like he's like we don't even radio it anymore because it's not worth it. They'll fuck us up for that, civilly sue us and stuff.
Yeah, it's not worth your job, I guess.
So, but then Cobb County, he used to work for them.
Where's that at?
In Georgia.
It's
like so I think he lives in Gwinnett or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But or he lived in Gwinnett before he moved for the new job. But Cobb, he said over there, they don't give a shit, dude.
Yeah.
If somebody runs from you, you're getting them. Same thing with Lowndes County, Georgia. Mm-hmm. It's like one of the most southern counties in Georgia. It's like just next to Valdosta.
Okay.
And he over there, dude, what? Run from him. I dare you.
I dare you.
If you even sneeze wrong,
chasing you?
They're chasing you.
That's awesome.
Dude, it's fucking nuts.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit jealous. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, Jesus Christ. That
Holy
red task came
dude.
at me, bro.
You get a demon inside of you.
Dude, I did. It was almost like that one night. But, so speaking of demons or ghosts.
Dude, this is another story time episode, dude.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
what
great.
it's going to end up being
great.
here.
Yeah, this is
so you want to tell us one?
No, dude, it's all you. Go ahead.
All right. So this was a couple years back, and our sergeant was we have a kind of like lake area.
Can I say something first?
Yeah.
This sergeant was the FTO I spoke about last episode. Get it? Go get it, mate.
Yeah,
this is him.
This is the same guy. Yeah. Same guy. Now he's a sergeant, moving up in the world out here.
Fucking great.
So he is at this pond or lake in our jurisdiction, very popular lake that people walk around, things like that. So he's out there one night, and all of a sudden he hears screaming, like yelling for help.
Help me!
Yeah. Coming from the pond. He's like, what the fuck is that? So he's
it's a big ass lake.
Yes.
This is a big ass lake.
Right. It is a big ass lake. So, he's like looking around out there. He starts going out to the pier where he's hearing it coming from, and still nobody. He's not seeing anybody, but he's hearing the sounds. And then,
holy shit, mate.
Yeah, right. That's probably what he was thinking.
Bloody hell.
What's going on this side of the pond? So, as he's doing that, a guy kind of walks up and he's like, "You hear that?" He's like, "Yeah, it's been going on the past."
He was walking his dog.
Yeah, that's right. He was walking his dog. He's like, "You hear that?" He's like, "Yeah, that's been happening the past couple of nights since an incident happened." And the incident was that a couple of weeks prior, I believe it was, right?
Yeah, jet ski. There was a jet ski.
Yeah, there was a jet ski incident, and they weren't able to find the body of the person that it was. So I'm fairly certain.
And you think about that too. So they have our local Fish and Wildlife Commission come out there, and in their airboats, we have the fire department, we have our county's helicopter, and we have all of these resources out there looking for them. We have dive teams and stuff like that. They come out there and they do their best to try to locate these bodies, if not save them. So just as a reminder, all of those were already exhausted.
Yeah, all those options were already exhausted.
They were already exhausted.
And actually, while that sergeant was out there, he was about to call for the helicopter to come out and look out here for it.
He said it over the radio too, and it was real because nobody's gonna embarrass himself over the radio like that on purpose.
So the guy walking his dog, I guess he lives around there and he walks the dog around. He's like, yeah, every night around this time we hear that. I haven't been able to hear it. I've gone back there a lot since then, just hoping to hear it.
Are you trying to just open up a coffin, dude?
Yeah.
Just trying to find somebody?
Right. That's crazy though.
Well then, so I remember after he talked to that guy, he went down to the other pier, and this pier they call the Point because it actually goes out a little bit onto the lake, and at the end, there's just a little area where you can kind of sit on benches and stuff like that. But he also ran into someone else over there and asked, have you heard this? who I think they were walking their dog. I don't remember if they said whether or not they've heard it before, but like, so there's been plenty of people out there.
Yeah.
And but shit, dude, can you imagine that? You're just sitting out at
Did
the
they
lakes.
hear it?
No, I can't remember.
Oh.
I don't know if they did or not. So, but I don't want to speak something that isn't true. But I imagine sitting in your car with the windows rolled down. You're sitting
and he was talking to his wife on the phone at that time too.
Yeah, dude. Like you're just sitting at the boat marina, and then you think you're having a good time, and all of a sudden you hear "Help me!"
That's creepy.
Fuck that.
So
skirt.
So, have you had any supernatural ghost experiences in your life or even on duty?
Dude, honestly, don't think that I have on duty.
Okay. What about off?
Off duty, I don't know. It might have been a really fucked up dream.
Okay, let's hear it.
I don't know. But like, so my birthday is October 7th.
Okay.
And my grandma died October 8th.
Okay.
So she died just after the day after my 16th birthday. And so, but like, so it was right after she had passed.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like really bad because like I was still young, and I used to call my grandma the devil because she was the one who would punish you and she wouldn't feel bad.
Uh-huh.
You know, like if you screwed up, she'd tell you screwed up and she'd punish you. And you know, but she was a great lady looking back at it now and like being the mature person I am. But back then I'm like, you know what, screw you, you're the devil, you won't let me do what I want. And I would, you know, I would be a kid. But nonetheless, like we weren't like too close.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived on the same property.
Okay.
And so, but I had felt bad like after she passed, and I kind of like said a little prayer,
mm-hmm.
you know, telling her like I'm just pretty much saying like I'm sorry and like just forgive me for not trying to be as close. Like I know that I was only 16, and whatever. So, but I felt really, really bad,
mm-hmm.
and obviously I was still kind of mourning because she had passed.
Yeah.
But at the time, like, I wasn't as experienced with like religion or anything like that. I wasn't as experienced, and I was kind of like misled.
Okay.
In a way, and so I would sit there and I would think in my head like if I were to talk to her, she would hear me in heaven or wherever she was, and so I pretty much told her like make sure you come visit me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure you come visit me and don't be such a stranger because you've passed or whatever, and like just trying to reach out spiritually. And I didn't even know. Like I knew nothing on how to, you know, how that stuff worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to explore, and I again felt bad, so I was very vulnerable with the way that I did things. But I went to sleep that night. And I woke up, I can't remember what time it was, and I woke up and my hand was straight up in the air like this, and I'm sleeping and my hand is just like this.
Oh shit. Bro,
and I had a cold sore, like a fever blister thing on my lip at the time. And I woke up and I looked at, like, I saw my hand in the air, and by the time I could realize like what the fuck was happening, my hand went wham, right on my lip and busted the cold sore.
Shit.
Bad.
Damn.
So any coincidence or spiritual thing, I don't know. But
okay,
that was just a weird thing.
All right.
You know?
So I just bought a new house. And, you know, buying a house, you're taking a gamble. All right. Whether there's going to be a ghost in it or not. Yeah. All right. That's my opinion. Or even moving into any place in general, you're taking a gamble that there might be a ghost in there. So we've been having some weird sounds coming from the attic. Like I would say about multiple times an hour you will hear creaking.
Dude, you can't talk shit.
I can't talk. I'm fucking tired.
Last night it
Shout
happened
out to
too.
the Red Taz.
Shout out to Red Taz. Let's go.
That's what's keeping me up right now.
But dude, that happened to you last night too.
Oh yeah, I couldn't speak last night either. Yeah, it was horrible. Like, I was trying to like, speak to people and try to get like consent to search people, but I'm just flubbing over my words. What's this ain't gonna work out.
Mush mouth. What is it, Fat Albert?
Oh, that is yet.
You never see Fat Albert?
No, I can't say I have.
You fucking mush mouth. Whatever. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So, anyway, back to the story. We're hearing like noises multiple times an hour coming from like in the attic, and it's like creaking or like duds. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I go up there too, and it's like a bunch of like old shit that like the last person
We got that too.
there like left in there, like whatever. But it's weird because I was like, looking around, like, I couldn't see any animals. Cause I was like, maybe there's a raccoon or a rat up here, but I looked all over the fucking place, nothing. So I'm convinced that there is
You
something.
got a little ghosty ghost.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, we live right by a church, so I figured when we were moving into this place, I'm like, yo, it's got to be protected. I mean,
Yeah.
by God. Like, that's how this works, right? But nonetheless, I'm pretty sure we have one in there, and I kind of took it upon myself to name it.
What'd you name it, bro?
So, I had to go with something gender neutral because, we're in 2022, and I don't want to offend any spirits or ghosts. So I went with Sam because you can go for Samantha or Samuel. So whenever I hear a thud from
What up, Sam?
I'm like, yo, it's Sam. And dude, my fiance gets so pissed off. She's like, no, there's no ghost in this house, because she's like so freaked out by it because she's
Hey, yo, what up, Sam?
Yep. So
I love it.
yeah, so I'm fairly certain that
When
it's on, but they're nice. They just sometimes it gets annoying though because it's like nighttime. And you're like, what the fuck is that?
come on, Sam,
Yeah,
fucking
come on,
waking me
Sam,
up, dude.
What? Be considerate at least.
Yeah.
But now that we brought our dog back to our house, I just blame it on the dog, even though I know it's not. It gives me peace of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the dog, and the dog's just laying down right there. I'm like, yeah, it was probably that.
The dog. No, so like for the first 17 years of my life, we lived in the southern part of the city.
Okay.
And then we moved to kind of like a central area, in a subdivision. But we moved into a new house. And my mom and my sisters, they used to go to the card readers.
Okay, like tarot readers.
Yeah, and they would go to like all these like psychics and stuff like that, and try to just figure out what they can get out of it.
Yeah.
And it was cheap too. Like all of those things are cheap. And so my sister went to one, and the lady told her that there is a little boy in that house that we just moved into, and that he was fond of me. I never experienced anything in that house. I never experienced.
What are we talking about? Fond? Are we like?
No, not like a gay boy. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think. I think like more of like looked up to me.
Okay.
Is what she meant by
Okay.
fond. But I never had any experiences in that house or anything, and I've been in that house alone a lot. And I never had any experience. But that's just kind of creepy because like they also went and they gave him like this sheet.
Yeah.
Of it was like a cloth. And by the end of the reading and by the end of the whole appointment, they turned the cloth over and it had like 6 pictures on it, and some of them were relatives. And I think even my grandpa was on one of them. I think it was on my aunt went too, and I think it was on my aunt's.
Yeah.
Which is obviously my aunt's father.
Okay.
And it wasn't like a picture or anything. It was just like a head shot, like just the head, just the the head and the face. It wasn't like crazy detailed, but just enough to where you could like tell who it was.
Yeah.
And then there was another one. So there were 6 pictures, 6 images, and the last one she said, "This is your guardian angel." And it was kind of like weird, like holy shit, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Because the sheet you gave me, it was raveled up.
Yeah.
I folded it up, not me, but she
Yeah.
did. She folded it up and she put like a rubber band around it, and it was just blank at the time.
Really.
And then all that shit happened. It was just kind of like weird.
Yeah.
Now you could say what you want about it. I don't know what goes on behind it, if it's real or if they do studying on your family history prior to meeting with you or whatever. I don't know. It's just weird. I thought.
So do you believe in like the tarot cards and gypsies and things like that, palm readings? Do you believe in that stuff?
I don't know. It's super weird, dude. Like I feel like I like to caution on the side of like one thing leads to another.
Yeah.
I feel like you open up a door when you go into that shit.
Yeah.
Like you open up like a really weird door for some bad shit to happen.
So you never use like a Ouija board?
Oh fuck no.
Oh,
No.
fuck no.
Fuck you, dude. Wait, dude. Ugh. I hate that shit. Dude. I watched those.
If
movies.
you had hairs, would they be standing up right now?
Oh, dude, for sure. Like I watch all those movies all day long.
Yeah.
But as far as actually like physically missing them,
no,
you can go fuck yourself.
Damn.
Like you ever heard of those Dybbuk boxes? You never heard of those?
Wait, is that the one that's concealed in wax?
Yeah.
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 It's just weird, dude.
Get you fucking haunted for
If
life.
you never heard of a Dybbuk box, dude, it's like a box that has like a special item.
Yeah.
And it could be anything. It could be anything. Like, for example, it could have like a chicken claw
Yeah.
in there, and what they do is they attach a spirit to that item,
Like an evil spirit.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they attach like a evil spirit to that item, put it in the box, shut it, and they melt wax around it to keep it sealed. And you can actually buy these things online.
You can buy them?
Dude, it's still, yeah, you could buy them, and they're cheap as fuck.
Why would you want to buy it?
Because you have idiots out there.
Jeez.
You have idiots out there that want to open doors to different things, and they want to, try to be badasses and try to experience things, but like, you'd be sorry, dude. It's fucking weird. But I've watched all those things, like even for a universal celebrity here, Post Malone did it.
Did he?
Post Malone got a Dybbuk box,
He opened it?
and he opened that bitch.
Why?
He's a weirdo.
Goddamn Posty.
and,
Better than that.
Yeah. And so, but he tells his experience, I believe, on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, really? I'll have to watch that one.
But that he opened it, and the day after, like a series of shit like happened, and it was going bad. Like he was having bad days, depression. His plane almost crashed.
Tough.
Yeah. His plane almost crashed while they were going somewhere, like, and then just a series of like events that happened, and he blames that Dybbuk box.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
The person that told me about the Dybbuk box was my fiance, which I had never heard of it before, because she like watches that shit. But she was telling me that she saw like this video of a guy who was like scuba diving, and he saw like one of those Dybbuk boxes underwater, and he fucking like opened it up. Like, yeah.
What a rod, dude.
Great White's about to fucking come and just
Right, get your ass.
plow you, dude.
Just imagine, like instant karma.
Like you open up the box, you look what's in it, and the next thing you do is look up, and a great white is just grilling
Right
your
there.
ass.
No, I don't see. The thing is, I'm like in between on whether I believe in it or not. But at the same time, I'm not gonna fuck with it just in case it is real.
Dude, like, I'll watch those videos.
Yeah,
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Movies, the videos. But you will never catch me messing with one, bro.
No, definitely not.
No.
So my sister's like a huge, like, I don't know what you call them, but she's like huge into like the tarot cards and like the chakra crystals, and she wears it around her neck.
Does she worship the moon?
I don't know. I don't think so. But anyway, like whenever we have like a family like reunion or family get together, she always brings it up, and I always just like clown her. I'm like, listen, you can do any of these things, and it's gonna relate to something. Like, because I feel like any card that you choose is very like generic. Like, oh yeah, I could piece this to this thing that's going on or happened in my life. Like, I feel like, in my opinion, you can do that with anything. That's just my opinion. If you believe in it, I respect your opinion.
Like, especially if it's like a general thing.
Yeah.
Like, you were in a car accident once in your life.
It's like,
You
how
were-
did you know?
You were injured.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So do you believe in like guardian angels?
yeah. I believe in angels and stuff like that. Like, it's just like a weird thing. Like I said, like that silhouette had the damn like picture on it.
Uh-huh.
Again, like whether or not it was true or not, like if that was a specific like
Yeah.
angel attached to my sister, I have no clue. But
So you actually saw it happen though, like in person?
no, I didn't go with it. Like I
Okay.
said, you won't see me fucking with that stuff. But no.
I know speaking.
no. But like she came home and told us, and she showed us, and like
Yeah.
my mom too, my aunt. I got to hear all the stories, and that was as far as I got with it. Cause
So have you gone on any ghost tours or anything like that?
no, but we actually have a ghost stop here in the city. Did you know that?
Yeah. I think it's bullshit. Like you go to like a town like St. Augustine, which is like supposed to be like the most haunted town in the world. Yeah, I'd believe that one more than here.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yes, there's a lot of history here, but not that much history. All right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
No. So being Christian, now that we're on like the topic of ghosts and stuff like that, what do you believe happens after you pass? Do you believe that you stay here? Do you believe that you go to heaven? Do you believe that you go to hell?
I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in spirits.
Okay.
I believe there are spirits who are not quite guided on where they should be.
Okay.
You know, like I don't believe in ghosts who come here to haunt people. I believe in lost souls.
Okay.
Who, you know.
So what would like classify like a lost soul? Like,
What do you mean?
like you say you believe like lost souls. Like, what would be like a lost soul? Is that somebody that just didn't find their way to heaven?
Like someone who's trying to get to heaven. And,
Okay.
You know, like,
and
like
do
I
they have to like
believe.
do something before they get to heaven? Like, do they have to like complete something like to complete their life before they go to heaven, or what do you think?
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I think it's just one of those things where they are trying to find that light.
Okay.
In a sense. So, but like I don't feel like they're here to haunt anybody. I don't feel like they're here to harm or
So
I believe in demons.
Okay.
You know, there are demons in.
So are demons not humans, or not? You know what I mean? Like, were they never humans, or do you think that? Does that make sense? Am I answering?
Yeah. So like, were demons never like actual people who had passed
Yeah.
and then just turned evil?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what makes a demon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I'm sure there's some people out there that have done a lot of satanic worshiping and actually believe in it,
definitely.
and who have passed and are used by the devil to try to come here and do bad. Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think.
I had a question, but I forgot what I was gonna say now. That's why I was like just said interesting, because I fucking zoned out for a second. But I mean, yeah, for me personally, I think we said on the podcast before, you know, you were kind of Christian. I was raised Jewish. I'm more agnostic / atheist than anything right now. So like, I don't really believe in.
Well, you just got to see it for it to.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like, I don't believe in heaven or hell. I don't.
You think just when you pass, you pass. That's
well, see, I don't know. I'm at a crossroads right now where, like, I kind of thought in the past that, yeah, as soon as you die, that's it. Just blackness and you're off the planet. And that's what I kind of thought. I thought religion was made so that people can sleep at night, because that scares a lot of people, knowing the idea of, like, if that is true, that nothing happens after you die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that scares a lot of people, knowing that, wow, what am I doing here type thing and whatnot. So that's why I kind of, in my mind, thought religion was invented, was to give people peace of mind and maybe even a reason to do good, because if you do good, you go to this great place. If you do bad, you go to this bad place, you know?
I mean, it depends, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like necessarily if you do bad things in life, you're going to go straight to hell. You know, there's a thing called purgatory, and, you know, we'll get further into that as we go in with like a religion podcast. But like, you know, for me, I happen to be Catholic, so yeah, like, you know, we believe in purgatory, we believe in everlasting life, we believe that Jesus died on the cross for us, or God, that he died on the cross for us. We believe all that stuff, but like, so how do you think we got here?
I think
Right?
honestly we just were.
You think we were just here from the beginning of time?
I don't think that anybody put us here. I think that we just were.
So you think Earth was just Earth, and then people?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
People just were here all along.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because I mean, there was, in my opinion, there was time before Christ. We call that BC. Right. And even the pyramids were made 2,000 years before Christ, right? That's what they say.
Mm.
So, I mean, I think that we just always were.
You think you just
always here?
Okay.
There was something else,
interesting.
but I do think that there was obviously something that happened that kind of reset time. That's where I'm at right now. I've been thinking.
And going back, you know what I was thinking, and I probably should have thought about this a little bit further. But remember last podcast we were talking about dinosaurs?
Yeah, we didn't bring it up. I cut that part out, but yeah.
Yeah. So we brought up dinosaurs because we were relating it to alligators.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We went down the rabbit hole.
We did. It was a slippery slope. But to bring it back up, like, you had a question. I can't remember what it was.
Yes, I think I know. Is it? So you're religious and you believe in God. Do you believe in dinosaurs?
And I said yes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yep.
I did. I said yes. And obviously they're not here, at least in the form of like a Stegosaurus or a T-Rex or, you know, any one of those, a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Right. Like, obviously they're no longer here at this point. And we probably have some of their relatives like gators. That's why we were kind
Yeah.
of relating them to. But I forgot what the other question was. But I meant to, like, I thought about it soon after. I'm like, there was a thing called Noah's Ark,
Yep.
right? And that's what saved a lot of the life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might be what kind of wiped them out too. Is that
Okay, you think that they wiped out the dinosaurs too? I think that dinosaurs happened because.
Do you think the dinosaurs?
Well, because okay, so yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
here's my opinion. All right, am I cutting you off?
No.
Okay.
No.
So Noah's Ark happened around the time of BC. Or of Christ. So that was like, so that's how the timeline goes for us. It was BC and then after Christ.
Right.
Those are two. So that was like Christ time. I think that dinosaurs, if they were existed, which I believe that they were, millions of years before that. So I don't know how they could have gone on. I mean, unless they were up to that point too, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think they were up to that point. They probably existed much before, even probably before human life.
I want to talk about something because now we're talking about the past and we're down this rabbit hole. I want to talk about the pyramids. All right. Those things are crazy. They are the wonders of the world. I have no idea how they got here. Because even nowadays, they're like, it'd be so hard to do. Mm-hmm. It was, you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that? Like, it's incredible. And I want to say there was like 2 million stones of those huge stones made up the pyramids. Like 2,300,000, and they had to come from miles to get all the supplies and everything needed to make these things. And even nowadays, it'd be almost impossible to do. How do you think that came about?
I don't know, but one of our workers,
looking at how many stones there are.
one of our workers, I think one of our communications operators, just went to Egypt, and that would be nice to at least have them on here for that, dude. That would be killer.
Wow, I didn't know that we had something like that. But yeah, so it is 2.3 million block stones, and these things are fucking heavy. And these things, like, they had to do the math. They had to and then the incline in general. These things are fucking tons. These each of these stones are about 15 tons. And then I don't know. I have no idea how they made it. I think that honestly, like I was kind of stating earlier, is we had technology back then that is just gone now because of maybe it was a great disaster or something like that happened. And I was listening to the
You think we had technology?
Not to the extent that we do now, but we definitely had something. Okay, so I was just listening to Joe Rogan actually on the way over here today, and they were kind of talking about this. He talks about the pyramids a lot because, I mean, it's one of the great wonders of the world. Like, we don't know how the fuck these things came about. But he gave it a good example. All right, so these things happened about 2,000 years before Christ, right? That's give or take. Obviously, they're just doing, I don't know how they come up with their math. But let's say, this is technology right here, my phone right here. Let's say I left this on the ground for 50 years. You think that it would still be there? You think if I left it
not in that shape?
Not in the shape. Now push it to 100 years. Now it's going to be almost disintegrated. Now let's push it to 2,000 years.
It's going to be fucking melted, dude.
Well, let's push it. So if we're doing math right, it'd be about 4,000 years. Do you think it would actually still look anything like this? I think it wouldn't. No, this thing wouldn't look. It wouldn't exist anymore.
But then you also got to think. You also got to think too. The quality of the pyramids and the stone is not that of your phone.
They're more.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying
that's probably why they're so preserved.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the technology that they used to make the pyramids is probably gone by now because of how long it's been.
Okay.
That's where I'm going with this.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying that we have like electronics, but we had more than we know we had back then. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that we had huge cranes, but we had something.
I think we were just creative as hell.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I think we were. I mean, like, you might be right. You might be right. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Were you?
Right? I don't know.
But
like, I'm sure we were also creative with like certain mechanisms and stuff. Like, like right now, I can go out and buy a house, But back then they fucking got creative. They started making like they started with the palmettos, and they started using trees and branches and everything else that they could use, and they got really creative and made something that worked for them. Or right now I can go and I can buy a doohickey to hang my deer from when I shoot it. To just to hang my deer from, and so I could skin it, and I could do everything, and I can cut my meat. But back then they had to get super creative, and they had to actually hang that bitch, or they had to they had to find something in a different way and technique with a different mechanism to do it. I think their minds just kind of like took off and ran with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, I think that when I say technology, I'm not referring to electronics. I'm talking about like inventions that they had back then that we not know about that they had back then, because they did not last as many years as the pyramids did. That's what I think happened. But of course, it's all speculations. I could be 100% wrong. And what I think is funny about pyramids in general.
But if anybody does know, help us out in the comments, because you wouldn't only be informing everybody else, but us as well.
We will definitely talk about it on the next podcast. Man,
like,
if you know,
put it in the comments or something.
Pyramid expert on here,
dude,
just to talk about that.
Somebody that fucking knows, please.
Yes,
'cause I'm curious now.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of pyramids, you know where the 10th largest pyramid is? Do you know?
No.
I believe it's in Tennessee. The Bass Pro Shop
Get
pyramid.
the hell out of here.
I think that's in Tennessee, right? The Bass Pro Shop pyramid. Yep, Memphis, Tennessee. That is.
Let me see this thing.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
I'll put it up on the screen for you viewers out there, dude. Yeah, and I think there's even a hotel inside of it. It's huge. So I love the fact that we're like, oh, these great wonders of the world. Like, how they do it. And then Bass Pro Shops, you know what? We're gonna make the 10th largest, and we're gonna fucking sell fishing supplies.
Mic drop, bitch.
That's right,
dude. I could live in a Bass Pro Shops. Easily go in there and drop a good 2,500.
You can probably survive in there for a little while. They got that fish tank,
Well, they got the fish tank. They sell grub there too.
Yeah.
They sell some snacks, and then they
do.
Dude, they got some good rubs.
They do that.
Expensive as all hell, but they got good rubs.
Dude. And when we say rubs, we're talking about like for meat
rubs,
here, like pork butt and stuff like that.
Rubs.
I just picked up some from Buc-ee's the other day. I'm excited to try it.
Hell
for those of you who don't know what a Buc-ee's is,
we're sorry.
Yeah,
because you need to know.
You need to know. And I meant to bring the
jerky.
Yeah, because they have some ghost pepper jerky that they sell there, and I meant to bring it, but I forgot to. So next podcast, you will see us die while eating this ghost pepper.
We had it one time, man. We went to a Buffalo Bills game.
Yep.
And we had that shit,
bro.
And we were leaving with no water.
No water. My mouth was on fire.
Fuck.
It was a couple-hour drive home too, and then when I got home, let me tell you, I tore up that toilet, and my butt hurt
toilet
so bad, bro. It burned so much, but worth it.
So worth it.
Yeah, we're both a big fan of spicy foods.
Shout out to Matt Ombre.
Shout out to that person that works for us that gives us the occasional pepper that he grows in his garden.
Oh, dude, the Scotch bonnets, dude. Those things are gnarly.
Fucking hot, bro.
Fire all the way down your throat, but God, dude, I don't know what it is. I don't like the taste of the spicy stuff. It's very bitter to me.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
So why do you have it then?
Cause the fucking heat.
You like the heat?
See, no, but like yes and no. It burns the hell out of me, but love it.
I love it.
All right, so it's enough talking about pyramids and just going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, we went pretty far down.
Let's get back on like a law enforcement topic.
Yeah,
that was actually quite recent.
Yep.
It happened over in Florida. That involved a taser deployment, which I guess it sparked a fire. It caught not only the Florida deputy on fire, but it caught the suspect on fire. They both got really fucked up.
Yes, they did. So what happened was they were pursuing a motorcycle, actually a couple motorcycles,
Yeah, it was like a dirt
Correct.
bike, right?
Yeah, a couple dirt bikes, and eventually, I think they call off the pursuit, but it's still kind of following.
But
or
those
something
guys were
like that.
driving like assholes, weren't they?
They were
Yeah,
reckless
I'm
driving all over the road.
talking about the motorcyclists.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm referring to. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were driving like complete assholes all over the road, reckless driving all
going
day.
opposite directions.
Yeah,
When there's fucking
threat
full
to the
traffic.
public, threat to themselves, threat to everything. Eventually, I think they call off the pursuit, but it's still thanks that the helicopter was following them. So then they say, hey, one of them just stopped off at a gas station.
Local Wawa or something?
Yeah, something like that. So then they call it out to the units on the ground. Units on the ground kind of surround it, and then they approach the guy. The guy instantly becomes kind of combative, definitely resisting while he's filling up the car, while he's filling up the motorcycle with gas. Eventually, one guy tases him, pop. Everything's fine, but the guy's still resisting. Then another taser deployment, but that taser sparks the gas to light on fire, and now since they're rolling on the ground and the gas was on the ground, they're covered in fuel, which fuel is highly combustible. Now a deputy gets lit on fire and the suspect, and it definitely watch the video.
If you haven't seen the body camera, that's fucking gnarly.
It is, and seeing the suspect after he's been burned, like you saw his flesh, like
He was
yeah,
fucked.
he definitely had some third degree of burns, whatever, fourth if that exists. Degree burns.
Yeah.
Like, he was pretty fucked up. So for those who don't know, the taser it can spark a fire, pretty much a little fire that can now
Yeah, so like just to like recap, so they approach this male, they're automatically starting to tell him, get on the ground, get on the ground, stop fighting, put your hands behind your back. And so since they did that, the bike kind of tips over, and that's when the gas begins to spill. And at that point, that's when the deputy says, cut the gas, cut the gas.
Yes.
Cut the gas. Emphasize, cut the fucking gas. You know that what you're about to do is going to cause a fire.
Yeah.
And then he does it. So, and normally I err on the side of police, and I always will err on the side of police.
Yeah.
But that was fucking dumb, because that's everywhere in our training.
Yeah.
And that's everywhere in policies,
Yeah, at least
universally.
here. Yeah.
Like universally.
Yeah,
like
it is. It is.
And like, so
You don't. It's known fact that you don't use it around combustibles because it can ignite a fire.
yeah.
So
So just to recap, like, don't use a fucking taser when there's a large body of water, when there's a risk of falling, or when there's presence of combustibles, or anything of that nature, dude, because you're asking for fucking trouble. That's everywhere in your training. That's everywhere in your policy, dude. Just pay attention to that stuff. Now,
yeah, he's now the deputy that did it. From what I've read, is now being charged with culpable negligence.
yeah, dude, and that's the shitty
It's
part
tough.
about it too,
Yeah.
because like that's the climate we live in, and granted, like it wasn't malicious, because I think the sheriff over there too, Marcos Lopez, said like, I don't think it was malicious, because what he did set his ass on fire too.
Yeah, and
So if
he suffered some pretty bad injuries and was out of work for a little while too, from what I read.
Yeah, so it's like yes, he should have known that was wrong. Hence the fucking culpable negligence. But I just always hate to see a cop
Charged.
go down the drain for that too. Like it's shitty, but and at the same breath, like, it's the climate we live in now. They're gonna charge your ass for something that you did. If you did something wrong, or if you should have known that what you were doing was wrong, they're gonna charge your ass.
Yeah, and that just takes into account like all these things that you have to think of as an officer whenever your adrenaline's all the way up here. I mean, his adrenaline was all the way up here when this happened. He's now in a use of force with the guy. He's not complying. They were just in a pursuit. All of these things, and now he's just trying to, get control of this guy that doesn't want to be in control of. And yeah, in your head you're like, yeah, I can use my taser because of that, but then you're like, oh fuck, I got to worry about my environment now, and things like that. And
nobody understands that, because let me paint
so
you a
much.
picture. You're in a pursuit.
Yeah.
You're driving, and this is, I think they're on days too, because I see the sun coming out.
Yeah.
No, they're on nights. This
Really?
was at like 5 p.m. I think it was.
I don't know.
I think it was somewhere around like 5 p.m. But you've got all this traffic around you. You're fucking sitting here going 90 to 100 miles per hour. trying to worry about what's going on the road, dodging all the other vehicles, keeping an eye on that motorcyclist that's fleeing from you, relaying all the information to your communications and all the other units that are responding, while doing that, like trying to worry about all your surroundings and just all the circumstances, and then you get called off.
Yes,
so your adrenaline goes
dump,
bam,
yep,
down, right, and then. So as you're settling down, just as you start to catch your breath and your heart starts to come back to a normal beat ratio,
they stop.
they stop, or the motorcyclist stops. Your helicopter says, "Hey, they stopped here," and now your chances of getting them are significantly higher than they were before because they fucking stopped. They ran out of gas, and so as if your adrenaline wasn't high before, now you know that you're going to get them. Your adrenaline spikes even higher. And you're trying to get there and you're worrying about the same shit. You're trying to worry about them not leaving, and you're fucking even higher now because you know you're about to go catch this fucking guy.
Yep.
It's like a dog trying to catch a rabbit. Now they've got this rabbit pinned, and now you're coming around with your pack of wolves and you're ready to surround this motherfucker and you're ready to feast. You have a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Because that motherfucker could have rabies.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm just saying, like you got to think about all that shit.
There's so much to think about, and it's a split-second decision that can cost you your career or your life, and that's what makes this job so hard. Honestly,
it sucks.
It does, and being in those situations and stuff. But even, switching up just a little bit here. Like something as basic as what you think would be a foot pursuit is just like, oh, you just chase the guy. No, but you're also thinking about, all right, where the fuck am I heading? I have to tell dispatch where I'm heading. I have to make sure it meets the criteria for me to actually tackle this guy or tase him or whatever I'm going to do. Now I'm thinking about, oh, does this guy have a gun? Does this guy have a knife on him? Oh, and now, so while I'm looking at where I am, I'll also have to keep an eye on the suspect and make sure he's not pulling a gun on me. Or if he rounds a corner, now I have to pie that corner before I can now start chasing after him again. Now he's farther down, and now you're trying to call out also maybe a perimeter while you're doing all these things. To do this job, you have to multitask hard, and you have to make these split-second decisions that in the moment may seem like the right decision, but at the end of the day,
if it was just a regular run Forrest run after this guy,
it's not
that's
that
just fine and dandy.
But
man, like I wish that the normal public can just see the side that we have to kind of work on, and not to prove them wrong, or anything,
but just to put in your shoes, like
just to be informative.
Yeah,
like, hey, this is what we have to fucking deal with.
Yeah,
you know, sometimes when we're driving with our lights and sirens to an emergency call, they might think we're going fast, but you also don't know what's happening at that emergency call. Yeah,
it could be an officer down. It could be an officer asking for help. It could be somebody shooting up a place. It could be anything that you're going to. And then you'll get complaints about that too. Like, this officer is driving really fast with the lights on. Like, well, if that was your family that needed our help right then, would you want us to get there as fast as humanly possible?
Yep.
Yes, you would. 100%.
Shit, even if it's just a regular fucking call, I want you to get there as fast as possible. Like, that's just how it is, man. So, but like, just to paint a picture, like, you're right. Like, you have to worry about telling them, like, oh, he's running eastbound, and you have to worry, like, is this really eastbound?
Yeah, like on this street, you're like, oh fuck it, is you have to think about
is this really eastbound?
Call a description of what he's looking like, and there's so much that goes into it. And don't get me wrong, I love foot chases. They're also one of the most dangerous things you can do, but they're so much fun at the same time.
Yeah, we're sitting here talking, and that's actually a good point too. Like, you think about it as you're in a foot pursuit. You don't know if this guy has a gun, a weapon, but we always like to err on the side that they do.
Yeah, always
for safety.
Just prepare for the worst.
And so when you do that, it sets you up for success, or at least a better chance in the event that does happen. But just to paint a picture in your head too, like, I guarantee you that if I'm running with, say, a kitchen knife or a pocket, or even a pocket knife, if I'm running with it, the last thing you're going to do is recognize that I have a knife in my hand.
Yeah.
You're not going to fucking realize I have a knife in my hand until I turn around at you, or until I fucking run into somebody's house and they say, oh, he's got a knife, he's fucking got it on my neck.
Yeah.
And like, I think we saw that with one of the Florida cases. It was during the BLM riots and stuff like that. One of the Florida officers, he had shot a black male who was just accused of stabbing a little girl. and they were saying he was unarmed, but like you also don't know that.
Based on so for one, I know this is at all agencies, and it's nothing against dispatch. It's nothing against them because they have a hard job in general, but a lot of the information that you'll get, you have to take with a grain of salt. Like you kind of get an idea of what you're heading to, but you ultimately do not know what you're going to. There's times that you'll go to what comes out as like a fist fight in progress, and you get there like we never touch each other. In fact, we're just hanging out. We just talk like we're Italian or something like that. You'll get that all the time, or sometimes it comes out as like just a verbal disturbance, and then you go there and somebody's getting stabbed. Like it's
so like weird, dude.
Yeah, like I said, you just have to take what dispatch tells you with a grain of salt and still go in there no matter what, expecting the worst. Expect this to be an ambush. Expect this to be a guy with a gun waiting for you there, or a guy with a knife.
Yeah. So they get that specific agency in Florida. They get called that this little girl was just stabbed, yada yada yada, and one thing leads to another. Information leads to there's a shirtless black male running through yards. He's got blood all over him, and from a reasonable point of view, what does that look like? That looks like your suspect running through yards with blood all over him because he's trying to evade being arrested. And so those cops get there, and he comes out from a yard and he's talking all kind of shit to him. You're gonna have to kill me, blah 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 blah. And then he begins to run at the officer.
Charge at him for whatever.
So you have all that information. This little girl was just stabbed. He's running through yards with blood on him, and just how it looks. And then he runs at you, and you don't know if he's armed, but erring on the side of caution, and the information that you have available to you at the time, this motherfucker just stabbed somebody. I'm not about to be next.
Yeah.
And the last thing you'll fucking recognize is a knife. Now, I'm not saying you won't recognize a machete or like a tree cutting knife, or you won't even recognize like a fucking one of them big hip knives, but a reasonable sized knife that everybody has nowadays, a pocket knife.
Yeah.
Or
you can't see that. It's flimsy. Motion's going. Your adrenaline's up here. You can't see that.
They're running. The last thing you're going to know is that you're going to see is that.
Yep.
So
absolutely. And the thing is, a lot of people say like, oh, small knife, that can't do much. A small knife can go right through your neck and you're fucking dead.
Think about the last podcast we shared. A fucking fillet knife.
Yeah.
You know?
And people say, oh, just tase him. Taser does not always work. A taser is not always.
I think they tried to tase the guy too.
Yes. So I mean, a taser is not always the solution, and especially with somebody. If I'm alone on a scene, and a guy's coming at me with a knife, I'm not using my taser. That thing works. What they say, 40% of the time or something like that. I forgot what the statistic is for it. I'll have to look it up to be exact.
So, but we'll talk tactics too.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like if you go somewhere and you know that lethal force, or at least like there was something lethal involved in the reason why you're going, so we'll use that previous scenario. This guy just stabbed a little girl. I'm not going to go out with my taser.
No.
I'm going to go out with my gun, and I'm going to match that level of force.
That's exactly it.
To be able to get either this guy to comply or to put the threat down.
Yeah,
we don't shoot to kill. We shoot to stop the threat.
That's exactly it.
And obviously we try to come to a peaceful resolution at the end of the day. But we're going home.
Yep.
And we're gonna do what we have to do. As cliche as it sounds. So I'm gonna match that level of force, and I'm gonna come out with my firearm. Mm-hmm. Whether it's
you're gonna match deadly force with deadly force.
Whether it's my rifle.
Yeah, if you have a gun, I have a bigger gun.
Yeah. Whether it's my rifle or it's my sidearm. And the time that it would take to transition from say that he didn't have a knife now, and I already have my firearm. The time that it would take, I'm not going to say that he didn't have a knife, but say that you didn't see a knife, and so you think that you're going to make the transition to your taser from your firearm. So you have your firearm, and then so now you have to holster that, and now you have to cross draw. And now you have to finagle your taser to get it out, flip it on, make sure it's on, aim it, make sure that you have your sight picture, make sure that you have everything lined up to where it's going to work effectively. The time that it takes to do all of that, even though you think that it's quick and you might see cool videos of John Wick doing it, not everybody's John Wick, not everybody has that training and that experience. The time that it takes for that to happen is giving them the opportunity to take advantage of you all day long. And if you don't think somebody will, you got everybody fucked up.
Like, yeah, it's.
So I don't see a knife. I'm gonna transition. Lo and behold, he has a nail file, and he fucking puts it right through you.
Yeah.
You know?
And a lot of things that the general public doesn't see as, oh, that can kill you. It can kill you. Like
it can kill you.
It definitely.
You can bleed out. Red spot too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing where you see some of the politicians saying, not to drop any names, but Joe Biden has said, like, you know, we should shoot him in the leg in the past. I'm like,
you try shooting moving legs, Joe.
well, one, you try shooting moving legs. All right. Well, for one, there's the femoral artery right here in the thigh. All right. So that is incredibly deadly. It'll bleed out. I think it's the fastest way to bleed out. Isn't it? Yeah. So one, that'll kill you pretty much immediately.
I think they'll kill you in about 2 minutes. Not even.
Less
Less than probably a minute.
Yeah.
30
so
seconds.
That'll kill you incredibly fast. Two, what happens? Let's say this guy has a gun on him. All right, I shoot him in the legs. Can he still move his arms?
What if I get him in the cock?
He's done. He's done. Well, like you can still move your hands.
Yeah.
And I can still shoot you. If I have a knife, I can still swing at you.
Yeah.
Like
you're not really stopping.
You're not out in the fight because you're shot in the legs. If I'm shot in the leg, I'm fucking still in the fight. Like we have that warrior mindset. No matter what, I might be shot, but I'm still gonna be moving.
I'm gonna boot scoot my ass behind a car and just take cover, get ready to fucking
and
take.
I'm gonna fucking unload everything I got into you.
You're about to take a lot of rounds.
Yeah, I might die, but you're gonna die too, motherfucker.
Judge, why'd you guys stop shooting him? Because we ran out of bullets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shout out to the nationally known
fucking
sheriff.
Grady. If everybody had a chief or a sheriff like you, boss man,
We'll be a better place.
The world would be a better place, man, and
yeah,
crime rates would go.
I've seen some of his videos, like they go viral all the time. You see him like up here, like, so this guy did this. He's a bad man.
He's
like, oh,
you see the one where he's like, you like to make rap songs? I'm gonna make one too. It's called "I Got Your Chain."
I got your chain.
And he fucking they did like a raid.
Yeah.
And they got all kinds of fucking dope out of this house, all kinds of money that they seized, and weapons, as well as like chains that were involved in the crimes that were committed, and all kinds of jewelry. And so he's doing exactly that. Well, this guy did this. Not a very good man. He's not smart. He does it to like 2 or 3 people, and then he fucking he picks up this huge pile of jewelry and chains and shit, and he throws it on, and he's like, "You guys like to rap? I do too.
Got your chain.
And I'm gonna call this one I Got Your Chains."
Oh, that's like, dude,
fucking
he's gangster.
boss, dude.
He's awesome.
They need to make a boss compilation made of just Grady Judd.
They do. You know, Grady just for president. I'll say it.
Fucking A, right? So, but yeah, like, but it's just you can go on and on about this shit, dude.
So we'll have to like it seems like we talked a lot about use of force, but we can go on and on and on about this because
there's so many pictures that you can paint and so many scenarios that you can try to push out there. Some will never ever understand.
Yep.
You know, because they're just so stuck in the way that they think, and then some it will be so eye opening. You know, like they just did like an experiment with the leaders of Antifa. You ever seen that?
No.
And they put them in like a simulation, and it was shoot or no shoot scenarios.
Okay, I think I've heard about this. I didn't.
Yeah, you could look it up. You can look it up, and you know, this is no disrespect to any you know, party, Antifa or whatever. Like this is not any disrespect. This is not any beef going on. But like in the same breath, like all of those people shot innocents. They shot every time.
Yeah.
Every fucking time.
Yeah. This job is not as easy as you think. It's not like the shows. Not like Hollywood makes it out to be. And doing half the shit that you see in Hollywood, man, you'd be fired for that shit.
It's not a fucking movie.
No, it's not. It's not.
Only the fun shit is catching gators.
Catching gators. Yeah,
That's a movie.
That's fun. Like I said, foot pursuits are fun. So speaking of foot pursuits, I'm gonna tell you a story about my foot pursuit.
Let's hear it.
All right. It was a couple years ago. We get a call to a store in reference to retail theft. Now, as we're en route, we're just going normal response, no lights and sirens. the suspect, this is what we hear through our dispatch. Remember when I said dispatch is not always correct, is that the loss prevention officer for the store is now being attacked by the suspect, like physically battered. So we get there. Now they upgrade us. We're going light sirens, and all of a sudden I see the loss prevention officer. He's like, he ran that way. I was like, fuck it. I'm a rookie. I got this. I don't know where he's at. So he ran that way. So I start running in that direction, and so I run for a little while. Also, I see the guy matching the suspect description across a pond. Like, he's got like a huge head start on me. Shit. So, I'm running. Eventually catch up to him. I'm like from across the pond, which is like it's a pretty decent sized pond. You've seen the pond, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about. It's a pretty decent sized pond. I'm like, get on the ground, fucking police, whatever I'm saying, just trying to get his attention. He looks back at me and continues running. He comes up to a creek, and he swims across the creek. As soon as he crosses the creek, I kind of catch up to him. I see him just getting out of the creek on the other side, so I pull my tail, like, don't fucking move. And he stops for a second and then slowly starts moving again. Looks like he's trying to get up and start running away again. I'm like, oh god damn it, so another officer runs up here. I throw him my taser. I'm like, watch that, because you're not supposed to get him submerged and whatnot. And I start entering into the water while the other guy's kind of holding him at gunpoint, just in case he were to like attack me while I'm going across to get him. The guy's still trying to get up and leave. So I enter the water, and it goes from instantly 2 feet to like 15 feet deep, and I'm like full gear, full uniform, start treading water, swimming across, get to the other side, and I just jump on the guy's back, the suspect's back, and we detain him. But keep in mind, at this point in time, we have probably ran, I would say, just under a mile. It was the longest foot pursuit I've ever been.
So how thankful for you, that water were you? Were you
one, it was good to cool off. No.
yeah, so good cool off, but
it was
then
midsummer too.
And now you're wrestling with this motherfucker. You both are wet.
Yeah. And he was still resisting a little bit, so, eventually officers come up. So actually one of our good friends, he, heard it come out, and he ran through a fence to get there. He's bigger than that fucking fence. He's a big boy. He's a tank.
So,
and he saw other officers hopping over. He's like, nah, fuck that. I'm going through it.
Bam!
Boom. Fucking right through that.
Yeah.
So, we get there, get them all up. But that was craziest foot pursuit I've ever been, I think.
Yeah. I tased myself during a foot pursuit one time.
Did you?
Yeah. So I went to... Yeah. I went to tase this guy because I had probable cause to arrest him. He had drugs on him. He dipped in his wallet, and he was palming the drugs. And then I told him, "Don't do it." And I tried to grab him, and he fucking just took off on me. And so I tried to tase him, and we have the X2, so there's 2 cartridges in there. You get 2 shots at him, and so the one completely misses. The second one, I don't know how he did it or how I did it, but he's running, and it caught his finger, and then the other one went right over his shoulder.
That,
yeah. And so, but while I'm chasing him and that second shot, I was running, and those, what do you call them? The cues, or what do you call the lines? Because you have the probes and then the lines that are connected.
Oh yeah, I don't know, just the metal lines.
But I fucking ran right into him.
Ooh.
And I fucking zapped myself. And but we kept going. It was cool. It fucked me up.
Did you catch him?
Yeah. I was able to just touch the taser to his back.
Yeah.
And just drive stun him.
Okay, so you caught up enough to do that?
Yeah. But had he been faster, he would have got away with my prongs.
Oh,
for sure. So,
and that's another thing. Whenever you're chasing somebody, it's not just as simple as I'm gonna tase this guy. Now you're chasing somebody at full speed.
Yeah.
You're using your hands, you're using everything to get you that momentum, and now you have to pull out your taser. You have to line the bitch up.
And you're fucking trying to run you're just every bit out of breath as that motherfucker is.
Yeah, and you're probably more because you're fucking carrying how many pounds of gear? You're fucking in boots. Most of these guys are either barefoot or in shoes. Yeah,
and it's just bouncing. So fuck that.
But quickly going back to my little pursuit. Remember when I said dispatch sometimes gets it wrong? Turns out the battery never happened between the loss prevention officer and
oh damn
yeah, and we just had petty theft. which is
Not arrestable.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
it
but
was
you had
kind of retail.
resisting.
Yeah.
You had resisting.
I had resisting all day. He ended up going to the box, but got what time served probably.
I don't know. He's such a frequent flyer for us, anyways.
Yeah, he is.
But anyhow, I think this about probably wraps that thing up, man.
Yeah.
This is episode 3 of Tactical Dads.
This
Stay
is episode
tuned,
3.
man.
Yeah, hopefully, I think on the next one we'll try and get a little special guest coming on here, and they can tell you some of their stories.
Yeah. So this guest is he's been through a lot on the other side of the law, and he can kind of tell us his experience with the whole process from the law enforcement contact to the justice system.
Yep.
So I mean, I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, like and subscribe.
Ring the fucking bell.
Yep. If you have any sort of law enforcement questions, any sort of incident that you guys want us to go over in our next podcast or in future podcasts, leave it down in the comments section or just DM us on Instagram. All right. We are always paying attention to that stuff, so please don't be afraid to. All right.
Holla at your boys.
All right. This has been Tactical Dads episode 3. Catch you on the next one.